It's just after 7 o'clock, so we're going to get started with some of the music. The first presentation going on tonight is going to be Malachi. We're going to give him about 5 minutes, so if you can find your way into the seated area so we can give all our attention to this young gentleman as he performs. Finish up your conversations, grab that little bit of food, sit down and shut the hell up. Thank you very much. Well, you know, it's funny because the people from the Bill Levity, who's been in the pantomime over at the Mercury Theater, which is quite an interesting little concept of having people teaching a bunch of young kids to go to theater and then yell and scream at the performers and do things which I can't be in that room. It's just too hard on me. And I have to rewrite a whole new thing this year so that I won't offend anybody but still get the message across that a performance that requires reverence. And it's not the children that don't. The children don't know nothing. They're taught. So it's up to the parents to take the responsibility. Oh, did I say that? Take the responsibility that free-range children is not necessarily the best way to raise your child. You know, listen to your elders. You know, it helps. But this is kind of funny tonight. Starting off our evening, I wanted to put. We were looking back. This is the last performances of the decade at the Duncan Showroom. And this is like our. It was 17 years ago that on Boxing Day, where I got the theater seats, where it just started putting the whole concept together of what we would do and create a showroom such as we have. And each year as we go through that time, I'm always, just what has taken place? What are some of the things that impressed me? Now, there's a lot of acts I would like to bring back. Like I'd like to have Danny Michelle here again if I could, or Tana Slivan. There's a bunch of people like that. But there are some people who live in our community that grab you, and I believe should have that opportunity to be considered the best of what goes on in Duncan during the year. Little Malachi's been out there. I know the other day he was out busking, pulled off $170 in an hour. Not just because he's cute, which helps, and that it's Christmas, which helps, but he's out there and he's plugging away. And I've seen people actually stop and take, wow, what's going on here? Much the same as our piano player outside. We're starting to put music in the streets, and that's really cool. So a young kid like this comes around, really impresses people. And then we thought we'd have Eugene Smith to end off the evening because it's just, because if you don't know, you'll understand. But just for our toilet paper gathering, the gathering of toilet paper, which we did this year for the food bank. By the way, we came up with 1,202 rolls of toilet paper. Some of that was 3-ply, some of it was 2-ply. We didn't get into the actual amounts. We were threatening to do that, but we just got it down to how many actual sheets of, but anyway. So the food bank was really, really cool, and when I posted that, one of the guys who worked there who helped me that day said, of all the jobs I've ever had to do, he says, that was the most rewarding one I ever did, seeing all that toilet paper. He says, you don't know how much that impressed people and made people feel good. In other words, helping people feel like they got their shit together going into 2020. It doesn't get any finer than that, right? But anyway, that night we had, I let Eugene Smith open up for Malachi. He'll always be able to put that one on his resume. But I heard as he got off the stage, as Eugene went off the stage, Malachi was up back and went, hey, man, great show. Yeah, way to go, buddy. You nailed it. Anyway, he's a man unto himself. He's a young man unto himself. He's going to be, he's the kind of person for us that are in the elder stage who want to remain around for a little while longer just to find out where he does decide to take his career and where it does end up, because there's a lot of places where it can land, but all the way you're going to see it on a stage and as a performer. He loves what he does, and we do too. His name is Malachi. Please, let's get the evening started. Malachi to the stage.
How's everybody doing? This first one I'm gonna do is a song that I'm pretty sure every single one of you would know. I don't even have to say the name of it. Started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone. The sun went down, was across the hill. Town lit up, the world got still. I'm learning to fly. I got wings coming down is the hardest thing. Some good old days may not return. The rocks might melt, the sea may burn. I'm learning to fly. They ain't got wings coming down is the hardest thing. Some say life will beat you down, break your heart, steal your crown. Started out for God knows where. Guess I'll know when I get there. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings coming down with the hardest thing. I'm learning to fly around the clouds. What goes up must come down. Learning to fly. I'm learning to fly. Thank you. Hopefully this strap stays in place when I do this next song, which is a song that my mother has been asking me to sing for a very, very, and how about add another 10 varies on that? A very long time. Song by Bonnie Raitt and John Prine, Angel from Montgomery. young man, and after my father, my old man is another child that's grown old. Dreams were thunder, lightning was desire. This old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just giving me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a way to go. I was a young boy, met me a cowboy. Wasn't much to look at, just a free rambling man. But that was a long time, no matter how I try. The years just flow by like a broken down. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just giving me one thing that I can hold on to. Just leaving this living is just a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, can hear them buzzing. I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. I live in a person, go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, have nothing to say. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. You can unplug it. Okay, it's good. This next one, I feel maybe a crowd favorite, is a song by Tom Waits, known as Chocolate Jesus. Well, I don't go to church on Sunday. I don't get on my knees to pray. Don't memorize the books of the Bible. I got my own special way. Know that Jesus loves me, maybe just a little bit more. Fall down on my knees every Sunday. Candy store. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to make me feel good inside. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus, keep me satisfied. I don't want no apples ever. I don't want no almond joy. Suitable for this boy. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus. Good enough for me. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus. It's good enough for me. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to make me feel so good inside. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. Well, this is quite a step down in the intenseness. This is calmer. This is Colder Weather by Zach Brown Band. She drank Colorado with the take with. Oh, there's the door for the winter. That's the cold air. And wonders if love is strong enough to make him stay. Just answered by the taillights shining through the window pane. Said I wanna see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? Said you're a rambling man. That ain't ever gonna change. You got a gypsy blow to blame you on for leaving. Born for leaving. The truck stopped at her just outside of Lincoln. The night is black as the coffee he was drinking. And in the waitress's eyes he sees same old light shining. Thinks of Colorado and the girl you left behind. Said I wanna see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. When I call you then, said you're a rambling man. said I wanna see you again, but I'm stuck in cold weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? Said I'm a rambling man. I ain't never gonna change. Got a gypsy's soul to blame, and I was born for leaving. Leaving. Close my eyes to see you. No matter where I am, I can smell your perfume through these whispering pines. I'm with your ghost again. It's a shame about the weather, but I know soon we'll be together. I can't wait till then. I can't wait till then. I know we're live streaming on YouTube, so at this moment I'd just like to say hi to my grandma in Kamloops and my Uncle Rick and Auntie Pat and Logan Lake and my cousin Morgan and her two children, Landon and Riley. So, hello. And this is my last song. And it's another Tom Waits one, except this one's not as bad for my voice. Operate a number, please. It's been so many years. Will she remember my voice? Will I fight the tears? Hello, hello there, is this Martha? This is old Tom Frost. And I'm calling long distance. Don't worry about the cost, 'cause it's been 40 years or more. Martha, please recall. Meet me out for coffee where we'll talk about it all. Those were the days of roses, poetry and prose and Martha. All I had was you and all you had was me. There was no tomorrows, we'd packed away our sorrows, saved them for a rainy day. I feel so much older now, and you're much older too. How's your husband? How's your kids? I got married too. Really, I didn't. Lucky that you found someone to make you feel secure, 'cause we are all so young and fierce. Now we are mature. Those were the days of roses, poetry and prose and Martha. All I had was you and all you had was me. There was no tomorrows, we packed away our sorrows, saved them for a rainy day. I was always so impulsive, I guess that I still am. And all that really mattered then was that I was a man. I guess that our being together was never driven close to you.
You want another one? One more? You do one more for us, Malachi? Oh yeah, I bet you could.
Huh? Okay, that was the problem. Okay, I need this. Sorry for the long transition. But this last song is a song by Linkin Park. One of my favorites by them, Numb. Tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me. Put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. Becoming this, all I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me? Holding too tightly, afraid to lose control. 'Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware by becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. And I know I may end up failing too. And I know you would try like me with someone disappointed in you. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Come so tired, so much more aware by becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like I've become so numb, I can feel you there. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Try to be what you want me to be. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thanks for John for getting me up here. Thanks for Tim for the amazing sound. And thanks to Trevor for fixing my broken string.
And so that was Malachi. Yeah. What a way to start off the evening. Now we're going to take about a 25-minute break. We're expecting the boys from the play to come over. Mr. Bill Levity's going to come back over, and there's a few other people that will be coming in who want to be part of the Flow, which is the regular last Tuesday of the month is our, usually it's open mic, but on the last Tuesday of the month it's Flow, for the love of words. And sometimes it gets a little risque. It's always a lot of fun nonetheless, but it's a chance for people to vent out the words that they want to have the rest of the world hear. And sometimes it's the stuff they write, and sometimes it's things that were written. But nonetheless, it's always fun. And so until which time there'll be music being played that's recorded live here at the showroom. If there's any albums you find you want to play, we can play those for you. There's some food out there as well. Make sure you communicate with each other. This is about community. Thank you for everybody who brought some food. See you in a little while. Hi, Marcia. How you doing? And your friend here. All right. Well, here we are. Bringing in the new year. No, getting rid of the old year. Right? We'll see if we're still up for the new year. Thanks, Dr. Ted Cadillac. Hey, the man with the hair is here.
It's kind of Elton Johnish meets Cyndi Lauper or something, isn't it? I don't know.
So you're all probably wondering what the hell this thing Flow is all about. That's F-L-O-W, for the love of words. And every Tuesday night since we started the showroom experience, we've always given it up to an open mic. And along that way, 12 years ago that we...
12 years and 1 month.
And 1 month ago, we were doing a thing at the garage, and as it turned out, we had it was Rob McKenzie or someone else was here, and they started playing the piano, and you did some beat stuff, kind of like that beat poetry thing, and we had a little drum kit and a cymbal and that, just looking really avant-garde. It's really like we were in Greenwich Village or something.
Like we were hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Like we always thought it would be. And anyway, so we fooled around with that, and it seemed like a good idea. So we continued it, and I kept on, lighting that fire each and every time I could. Like at the end of the month, come on, Bill, let's do it. So we've managed to put it together for 12 years, and it's been a wonderful time because along the way there's been regulars, there's been some people that drop in. I know that John Hadfield, the wonderful John Hadfield, would like to be here tonight, but he's had that bug. He's had him under the weather for about 2 weeks.
That's no
now.
excuse.
That's what I told him. Yeah. He's probably watching right now, so you can razz him all you want.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. Sorry, too bad you couldn't make it. Anyway, but so Flow is for people who have for the love of words, and sometimes you might think, oh, they're just going to get up and they're going to read neat, interesting poetry things, and that's not the way it is. Some people bring some really.
I don't have any real fabrics on.
No, you don't. No, you don't, as a matter of fact.
Slightly better.
So sometimes it has a propensity to go off the wall. It depends upon whose standards you're using.
Which?
The words that are used, the progression and the way they're put together. And
it's an adult format for sure.
Yeah.
So we don't like to exclude anything except hate literature, I suppose, wouldn't we, Bob?
We'd hate to do that.
We'd hate to exclude hate literature. Yeah. So 12 years, and it really grew out of the end of the gong shows and the cabarets that John was hosting, which were so wonderful. And that's how I met these young musicians. That was probably the last cabaret was the circus cabaret, I think.
Yes, that was.
Bianca was.
Did that not have a real live snake in it?
I think there was live snakes. There was fire hurlers and jugglers, and oh my God,
scary.
It was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't do it again, did we?
That was it. Yeah, I think the pyrotechnics.
I think there was a reason for that. Yeah. But nonetheless, look what came out of it. A whole bunch of interesting things. Anyway, he's here tonight, and he's got some words, and there's some other people that came down to read as well. So we'll get that part going, and so that we can get on with getting the the one and only Eugene Smith up on time because, hey.
Oh, you just want to get through us. So you can
No,
get to
it's
the
not
master.
get through you. I'm just being considerate of the gentleman himself, the elder in amongst us who might want to, who's
Had a
just-
nap? Did you
Yeah.
have a nap? Did you? Oh, he knows how I feel about him. It's better to open for Eugene than to follow him. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, anyway, get on to the opening part, please.
Okay, get on with your opening.
Bill Levity, give it up for him.
All right. Thank you. Yes, three of my most treasured friends in the room. Certainly, both John and Eugene have been huge inspirations over the years, and I'm wearing the jacket of Mr. James Pett. So probably my three elder statesmen, I would say. And so we had a great time with the pantomime. For those of you who missed it, you silly fools, it was a lot of fun. So I'm just in Poodle Power. Oh, you made it. How good. So I'm, as you know, with thespians, it takes a while to transition. So perfect that Helen showed up with some glitter, because now I really don't know who I am. Somewhere between dog and human and Elton. Anyway, I did want to say something about John because, both he and Gene have been on stage. Gene's done a couple of good roles, and I hope he'll remind you because I don't want to get that wrong when he comes up. Will you, Gene? Will you just tell the people what your roles were when in your set? Just throw it in there. John has portrayed the chief in Cuckoo's Nest, certainly one of our most beautiful and edgy shows, which was back in the old hall in Shawnigan. And another role, our first outdoor Shakespeare was actually Othello. And who do you think John played? No. No, Iago was played by a short guy, very talented guy. John played what's the character's name, John? The prince? Othello, right. So my brain left the building a couple hours ago. Thank you. And John, he could tell you night sweats. Alex probably spent 157 hours with him teaching Shakespeare. But man, he was great. He really was, did a great job. And same with Eugene, a musician who comes on stage and does some really good roles. There was a particularly telling night when it was raining like mad. And we had constructed these metal risers, and they had protection over them. But the pit to the actors was open, as it should be, because they should suffer the weather. And suffer it they did. It just rained like shit, like it never always rains on Vancouver Island. And they were just drenched, but they never showed it. It was just so beautiful. And in the penultimate scene, when John is going in to kill his supposedly unfaithful wife, of course, who has not been, silly man everywhere. And you remember this, John? The rain stopped and the moon broke through the clouds. It was like... he remembers some. See all those rumors about pot in your memory? Not true, apparently. So kudos to two of my best friends, Eugene Smith and Mr. Longevity John. As I say, great inspirations. This poem I wrote about someone who's not here, one of our regulars, and so I'm not sure if it'll make sense. It really worked on Christmas when I did it at their house, because it was like, before dinner poem. So I'll tell you, it's about Mark, the outspoken baker. Bob knows what we mean. Well-bred bakery. Does anybody go to the market? Yeah, you know Mark then in Shannon. Yeah, a bit of a character. All right, so this poem was for him. A poem for audaciousness. The brave tongue waggling, speaking from the heart, a twisted yet enlightened heart. Surely this is the fruit of bread, or the bread of fruit, the lively leavening, imbued with spirit and tenacity, that makes those buns rise so well. So fondly rising, so proudly to be eaten, buns. Oh, that I was a baker, and the fondness of my woodsmithery could be eaten, consumed, relished, digested, and eliminated. But no, I am pressed to build something which lasts. Lasts, I say. And this I address to Mark directly. And you little sunshine puff pastry trollop. That's good, knowing him as you do, yeah. You create things to entice, to inveigle, to create the desire to consume, only to be lost, a moment in which the desire is created anew. You bastard. We must return to you week after week, addicts to those yummy treats which you proffer. Pimp, baker, gambling house maven. What is the difference, I ask you? We're all enslaved. That's what you want. Bow to my treats, you demand. Caesar, I cry. Villain. That was for Mark. We had a really nice dinner. I'd had the family thing on the Christmas Eve, and then a brunch with the future in-laws. She's part Danish. We did that great thing. The Danish like to dance around the Christmas tree singing, which is really fun when most people are out of tune. And so I got a couple more maybe here. Oh, okay. I stagger out like Rapunzel, mostly unaware of my changes, the changes that have overcome me, but hobbling through the streets, feeling the nipply brisket of fall tickle down my bosom and scare up my backbone, I feel it's time to gather my nuts. It's time to hide away for winter. Put on the long johns and the scarves. Thank you. That's a poem about my nuts. That's right. Squirrel. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to pass. Oh, I don't know. Well, it's not a skirt, for God's sake. It's just my natural curves. Golden nuts. Okay, this is a serious piece. Another. I've been a fool a couple of times, and when you get to play a fool, you get a cod piece, which is nice. Because it's kind of advertising it, but hiding it at the same time. Yeah, so if you get... So says you. Okay, I'm sure you all had someone in your youth who you picked on, or you were the one picked on. And there's that kind of social etiquette about the hierarchy of the schoolyard. I know it's scary. I was reminded, I took my 7-year-old granddaughter to school a few times over the past couple of years. And I was just reminded how savage it still is. Thank goodness that political correctness has not, completely eliminated the savagery of the schoolyard. We don't want complete bullying, of course, but I mean, there's some life lessons that you learn there, is as terrible as they often are. So this was a young man I met. I had to change schools in grade 6 maybe, or 5. So we had to cross the bridge. We're going over the highway into somebody else's territory, and you have to kind of make your mark, of course, or you get beat up regularly in the old days. And so this particular individual was a bit of an oddball, and he was obviously picked on by the fellows of his school already, so it was an acceptable entrance into society to pick on him as well. Terrible shame that I'll take to my death. But anyway, it all turned out well. We were friends. Gunky was his name. What a handle, a burden of shame. But he wasn't, was he? Shameful then. Spatic hand movements, yes, and weird noises coming out of his mouth. Realizing later that he was such a rare bird, actually, that he didn't fit in and was oddly suited for this world. We used to tease him at school. I remember picking on him myself. Meanness to look cool, to fit in. So I would fit in. Everyone likes to pick on a weirdo, don't they? Now that I'm a weirdo myself. Getting to know him, he was an only child, odd and wonderful, English parents, and we'd go over there, Mark, Greg, Phil, Jamie, and I, more guys, I can't remember. Public school, the great public proving grounds. You've got to have metal. You might make it in high school if you can survive elementary school. God forbid, but Gunky was a lot more than odd. He was a great painter early in his life of the fantastical variety, like those Yes album covers, like Dali, but outdoors, and a musician, the real kind, like Eugene. He knew what the notes meant. So just when we went to see him in Kitchener with his band, he played keyboards that night, and Tammy held Marky's Donaker while peeing in the parking lot by request. Jolly, isn't she a swell girlfriend? And the band was great. In the break, Paul did a solo set on guitar, Neil Young covers and the like. It's not good enough to be a rock pianist, but there he is, bringing it on acoustic guitar. I didn't understand how great, how real that was till I'd seen hundreds of performers, mostly at the behest of Mr. Longevity, and looking back, realizing that it was great because, as they say, he made the songs his own. I can't remember why he moved out west. Maybe we got some letters, but what I remember is oops, I've been speaking a lot. What I remember distinctly was that he visited us at Julie's farmhouse and that he talked differently after 2 or 3 years on the island. He waved his hands in the air like sea foam. He'd learned some Tai Chi. He talked about U Vic and Cobble Hill and Zen, something this and something that, and people we didn't know. He had changed. We saw a man growing into his skin with visions and excitements, new vistas. And we all knew that we wanted some of that because we were living in Brantford. Thank you. He returned to Duncan, and as fate would have it, he was killed by a drunk driver crossing the street in front of the Couch and Community Center. They never charged the guy because he had a joint in his pocket. Oh, my Lord. Gunky gets his final gunking. Life is awfully cruel, especially to the brilliant ones sometimes, the bright burning stars. But for us, that was enough to cement us. We were going west. If we didn't go, we knew we'd regret it. He'd already blazed the trail. We'd have friends, and so we did, many good friends. We were going for Gunky, we were going for Kerouac, we were going for Kesey, we were going for ourselves, and if we didn't go, we knew we'd be shit, still living in Brantford. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you to Helen for dressing me. She's the best. So you should follow me, Helen. Come on up. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you want to chance that, no? That was safer. They still don't have a handrail for Bob, which I'm going to talk to the management, yeah.
Well,
What?
You're the carpenter.
I'm the carpenter, right? Right.
Well, I was just gonna, this is not to demote Eugene or anything, but on Knowledge, it's at 9 o'clock, they're showing something on that Shane K guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, doing spoken word.
Oh,
Are you all? I've been watching TV lately because I've been medically laid up, but anyway, what is that? What is that guy's name? Does anyone know how to say it? Koizen, okay. Okay, so this is New Year's Eve, which unfortunately is also the eve of the Duncan bird count. We go out from dawn to dusk tomorrow and count all the birds in the Duncan area for the great, for science and environmentalism and everything. We've been doing it for years, but it's a terrible day to do it. Anyway, I actually have found two poems on birds, which come actually, I took an elder college course with Tim Brownlow about modern Irish literature this past session, and Seamus Heaney was the last of the poets to be covered. So I'm going to read two of his poems. One of them, the copy I have, it's called Postscript, but that means absolutely nothing. It's actually about swans. And what we also do every Wednesday is go out from November to March, go out and count swans in the Duncan area. We're getting weirder and weirder by the minute, aren't we? Anyway, okay, with that introduction. And sometime make the time to drive out west into County Clare along the flaggy shore in September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter, and inland among stones the surface of a slate-gray lake is lit by the earthed lightning of a flock of swans, their feathers ruffed and ruffling, white on white, their fully grown, headstrong-looking heads tucked or cresting or busy underwater. Useless to think you'll park and capture it more thoroughly. You are neither here nor there, a hurry through which known and strange things pass as big, soft buffetings come at the car sideways and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. And the second one is called Saint Kevin and the Blackbird. These Irish and their saints, I don't know. Anyway. And then there was Saint Kevin and the Blackbird. The saint is kneeling, arms stretched out inside his cell, but the cell is narrow, so one turned up palm is out the window, stiff as a crossbeam, when a blackbird lands and lays in it and settles down to nest. Kevin feels the warm eggs, the small breast, the tucked, neat head and claws, and, finding himself linked into the network of eternal life, is moved to pity. Now he must hold his hand like a branch, out in the sun and rain for weeks, until the young are hatched and fledged and flown. And since the whole thing's imagined anyhow, imagine being Kevin. Which is he? Self-forgetful or in agony all the time, from the neck on out down through his hurting forearms? Are his fingers sleeping? Does he still feel his knees? Or has the shut-eyed blank of under earth crept up through him? Is there distance in his head? Alone and mirrored clear in love's deep river, to labor and not to seek reward, he prays. A prayer his body makes entirely, for he has forgotten self, forgotten bird, and on the riverbank forgotten the river's name. There we go.
Perform the service. You're coming out of the light, sir.
Well, yes, it is.
Oh my God!
Ellie!
I know what have I done?
Nothing, you just dropped the papers.
Normally I don't have your hubby follow you, but we have the girl-boy motif.
Yes, no, he wants to follow me, I think. Can you get him up the stairs? No? I'll have to get him up the stairs.
You go first, and
Well, I don't want to be up there. Push you up, sorry.
your job
Wait, I have to introduce you because you're a luminary. Oh, I see. You get the front end and I get the back? Kind of like the pantomime horse?
Good thing
It's all right, I won't grope you or anything.
Good thing I'm not. No, you go up and introduce me.
Oh, all right, and she'll be your helper.
Somebody has to get me up the stairs.
Sir Robert. Yeah, my two dear friends who I've known for a long time, and Helen and Bob have been some of our most stalwart supporters over these 12 years. Bob, I think, carried the entire 39 days allotment for poetry one year. Because I was striking or something while in the middle of Shakespeare. And so Bob was down there with the people. And interestingly, we got some good, no, you should be moving. I'm just speaking because I'm, filling in for you, Bob. So he's well loved, and here he is, Sir Robert.
Well, last few weeks I've fallen in love with a new poet, new to me. I mean, Marilyn Dumont, who's a Canadian and a fantastic poet. Don't want to give you too much background, but we need a little bit. She's Métis, brought up poor and called a dirty little squaw in southern Alberta. But she wasn't dirty at all. She kept clean, but still lots of language and putting down. But somehow she survived that and got bigger and better and got educated. And when she was in her 30s, she looked back and wrote some extraordinary poetry about the time, different parts of her life. And that was all wrapped up and published in a book called A Really Good Brown Girl. And I've been reading from that lately, and she's just a most impressive person. One of our, Deb, who reads here quite often, was at a poetry workshop in Banff, I think, and Marilyn was there herself. And Deb said she was wonderful, and she was kind and articulate, and she's come a long way. Anyway, her Métis background is really important to her. It gave, they were bottom of the totem pole in Alberta, had no sense of themselves really at all. But then they got this sense that their ancestor, Gabriel Dumont, who was number 2 to Louis Riel, Louis Riel's general, he was a relative. They figured this out, and it was a maybe, and then it was for sure. And then that gave him quite a lot of strength. And her 4th book of poetry, which came out much more recently, was all about the Métis, well, the uprising of 1885, which culminated in the defeat at Batoche. But there was a lot happened along the way. And so there's another book called Pemmican Eaters, which is entirely about that. Oh, very diverse poetry. It's wonderful. Here's a couple of little bits. No, I'll do the thing about BC. I was talking about her getting older and more educated, and now she's a well-known figure. But when she first came to BC, she wasn't very impressed. And so here's a couple of poems about not being very impressed about BC. And who can imagine that, eh? What hard to swallow. Anyway, just little poems. She, feeling homesick. Yeah, she was in Saskatchewan as well as, no, this is the North Saskatchewan River, sorry, Alberta. Here's a little one called Liquid Prairie. I miss the North Saskatchewan that runs through those trees that shoot up black and grand from its cool hips. I miss those spruce that defy the flatness, gloat at the pressing palm sky and the loaded rifle earth and grow anyway. I sit on this thin coast and haven't yet been on that belly of water they call the ocean. And this is a funny one called The Geese Are Not Welcome. She thought there were no geese here. I don't know where she was. She wasn't in Duncan, obviously. Plenty of Canada geese hanging around here. Anyway, here's her impression of the West Coast again. The grass is puny here, its threads stretched to fill an oblivious sky. A child's arms strain to be silk scarves in a prairie wind, and there's no wind here, hardly, no wind at all. No rolling wheat waves, no grass dance or bowing willow partners, no floor to dance on or prairie light to dance under. There's no sky here, just eroding canvas cover. No weather here either, to give me a piece of its mind when I step outside. No light that waltzes into town. No light here. Hardly. No light at all. No filmmaker's palette. No simple equation of earth under sky. Just bossy cedars, obnoxious ornamentals, maudlin vines, and roses that flaunt their breasts over fences. Leaves that wear out their welcome, and grass that never lets up growing green. You see it today, it's bright green in the morning. And no geese to haunt my winter clock. There are no geese here. They are not welcome. So that was her disappointment. when she came here. And there's another great poem about her, how her relationship that she thought she was walking into, it fell apart as well. Anyway, she survived all that too. She's an incredible survivor. Okay, now one poem out of the Métis book called An Ode to the Red River Cart. Some of you may not know that famous cart. Helen and I come from Manitoba, so we got all this Métis archetype stuff in our minds. But when the Métis were kind of king of the prairie and they went on great, almost military expeditions to harvest the buffalo and their brothers, the key thing was these carts that took all their supplies and brought back all the meat and skin and everything back from the great expedition. And these carts were just plain, and they were very noisy. No axle grease. Just two huge wheels with spokes and a very straightforward structure, a box in the middle, and that carried this whole virtual army very effectively. Anyway, part one. Oh, there's a little quote after the title, Ode to a Red River Cart. Joseph Howard, when he was writing about the strange empire of Louis Riel and the Métis people, he called it an interminable shriek of grinding wood. So, part one of the poem. Just a cart made of wood and shaganapi, pulled by a draft animal, triggered a sound that was, quote, hellish, horrifying, and nerve-wracking. A wooden, squealing wheel hub, twisting in a dry wooden axle, shattered the prairie stillness in its continual drone, driving anything within 15 miles out of sight. Deer and coyotes fled in opposite directions. Groundhogs dug deeper. Birds lifted and scattered to its tooth-stabbing screech. Another quote. Its relentless twisting waves of squealing bore a hole from ear to brain, a soundworm, twisting, coiling, altering anyone's sense of moving or still, big or small, near or far, straight or crooked. The Métis, on their seasonal hunt, walked dazed in this ethereal, wailing netherworld of 1,000 fingernails being drawn across 1,000 pieces of glass. Part two of the poem. This is gratitude. This is what's remembered after busting your nuts over every boulder, rut, ditch, gopher hole from Winnipeg to St. Paul. Dragging your heavy ass through mud hole after muskeg, ooze past your spokes, and weighed down by 900 pounds of raw buffalo hide stuffed pemmican sausages. This the thanks for converting to a fortress when drawn in a circle against an enemy, wheels facing outward, carts wedged together, protecting everything inside. This is gratitude for being an all-terrain vehicle, transforming into a raft to ford rivers and creeks. This, a mind-altering earworm. Well, after all, you are just two 6-foot wooden spoke wheels, dished, broad-rimmed, and shaganapi bound, fixed to parallel 12-foot shafts with a mortise wooden box, all drawn by a draft animal. Yeah, that's it.
6 feet in diameter, Robert?
6 feet across. Oh, yeah. It was one at the exhibition grounds last summer, and kind of loomed over you when you went up and looked at it.
Did anybody else, we have Adrian Street, did anybody else want to read? Are we all just here for the great? Well, I'm not blowing wind up your skirt, fella. Come on up, Adrian. So I will say, this nice Adrian is a new reader. We've been going for 12 years. Go ahead. And usually our format is over a couple of hours. We read 5 to 7 minutes, so we'll stick with that. And that will get Gene on in his prime before the bewitching hour. And it's evolved nicely, hasn't it, Bob? It's started out as a rock and roll show, and now it's more just people reading, as Bob has words that he really loves, or we have people reading original works, and it kind of meshes nicely together.
All right.
And that's how it's been. It doesn't seem So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So I just want to start saying I think every poet is speaking from process, you know, I think, or telling about something. So anyway, the first poem I would like to share with you is dedicated to a person I will only call Ansel. Ansel Adams is a great photographer, and this person is also a great photographer, but it's my reflection. You soak in my kindness, salivate, delicious greed, coaxing more. My heart opens, unguarded. Trickster beguiling, feigned, heartlessly vitriolic, sprinkling breadcrumbs of hope. Hunger snares, swords of tongue, perversive contempt, so hungry, vulnerably so, my fortunate shame. Their story, maneuvered judge, beckoning kindness, hopeful of shame, rejection of courage, hatred for kindness, blasphemy of grace, violation of fragility, heartlessly broken, shame on humanity. Your words say, I have compassion for you, but your next word is hatred. We all hate you. My words, such contrast, encouraging words for you, in kindness and faith, always offered, each time with hope. No malice from me. You soak in my kindness, my praises, you soak deliciously. Only kindness, my last words. Deformed, twisted, you speak harm, hatred. Judge, jury, executioner, this is what the family believes. We crucify you, sing death to you, Swedish wishes. Wolves don't play by the rules. Eagle-eye vision, veiled torment, aversion, abomination. Yes, I know shame, just for breathing the same air, just for being alive. So I put that. This is the end of the year, and thank God. Okay. So we'll be really happy when Eugene comes on to cheer us up. Okay, this one is called There Is Silence. And I just want to take note of my costume here. I believe great gifts come from the heavens. I was coming back from a conference in September, and I got on the BC ferry coming over back to the island, and in the gift shop was this wonderful shirt. And it's a Canadian-made bamboo shirt. Lovely. So this one is called There Is Silence. Laughter once frequent, empty rings, silence. Story, a simple sharing, tales long past, brought to the present, silence. Concerned listening, warmth of embrace, disbelief, gut-wrenching horror, retreating protection, silence. Empty rings, I'm checking on you. No one to ask, how am I doing? Silence. Healing in community, so they say. Yours not shared, silence. Chance restitution, hope not given, voices empty, unacceptable. Exclusion promoted, silence. Why? No answers, silence. So I will read a third one, and partway through the poem, I'm gonna change my costume. So this one is also process, but you know, I believe that art is always a process, you know, and I know when I've composed music or when I've done academic writing or poetry, it's always because you take a position on something, and I think that's important. Okay, so this is called Exemplifying the Dark Triad. And if you don't know what the dark triad is, it's a combination of traits studied in social psychology, and it's a combination of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and either psychopathy or sociopathy. So that's what we would call a Machiavellian leader. The person sort of who's exemplified in history for that is Nikolai Machiavelli. You know, he has some pretty important things to say about leadership. Take it or leave it. Anyway, the willful projections of suffering upon those who are fragile, easily won by good social grace, popularity, finances, and influence. We've seen this before. The dark triad of those rulers. The naked world bears witness. Remember, Cambodia, faces of Phnom Penh, Hitler's ravages, experiments upon the damned, Vietnam, limbless babies, yes, even today, Laos, most bombed, destruction at the Plain of Jars. Many, many countries brought now to the present. Leaders promoting destruction, annihilation, ethnic cleansing, erase lesser thans. Lab rats squeal helpless. Leaders promote silence. Soul weeps destruction, multiple harms, bodily decay. Your mission of salvation, one pill at a time. So I'm changing my costume. Okay. The labels are yours. Dismiss the social condition. Exclude the multiple traumas. No awareness. What is our crime? Treated worse than monsters. Society's thoughts. We, the monsters. You do not know us. You do not care. Ethical treatment is neglected, dismissed. Your revolving door. Prescription pad, always ready. Do you have insight into your illness? Promoting our shame. Your words on our records. Your gains, our costs. We are the shamed who bear your labels. You laugh. You despise. Controls enforce. You get fat on our wages. Shall we call you a contemporary, esteemed, highly privileged group? Or a collective of Machiavellian leaders? So thank you. So I hope that Eugene can cheer you up. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. I hope you'll come again. Just settle down again.
No.
I have a little story.
You have a story?
It's a quick story.
Yeah, a quick story.
Just like my mother. Hurry up, Billy. Look at now he's looming at the curtain. How can I relax?
Okay, I'll move.
How long have I known this guy? 30 more years. No, it's a very short story. Many years ago, I am, as well as being a poet and a thespian, singer-songwriter, and I've done a lot of work with John, toting bags and gear and driving with him and emceeing. I used to be his MC before he learned that he could speak on a microphone. And now that he's learned he can speak on a microphone, well, there's no end of it, I tell you. It's a beautiful thing. But he's got a good thing to promote here, his hard work. So, the story, I was promoting in the South End, trying to copy the great man himself, Longevity and Bill Levity. We're the Evity brothers. So I was promotional South, taking a cue from him, and I would put on concerts in the Galley Restaurant in Shawnigan Lake. And, of course, one of my favorite people to put on was Eugene. Being a fledgling songwriter, you know, I was eagerly studying him and admiring his skill. My favorite story was a New Year's story, and I used to play with a gal named Jay McLaughlin. an MC and a body poet and what does she do? She does art as well. She's an amazing gal, but a bit sarcastic, eh, Jean? And after a couple of years of playing with her as my side woman, and she's doing harmonies and such, people pointed out to me that, Bill, you know, all the time that you're playing, she's just making fun of you. She's just mocking you, basically, which made for an interesting act. You know, being a slight comedian, I didn't mind it. It's easily done. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. I feed you the straight lines. You knock them down. That's right. And so my favorite gig was a New Year's Eve gig, and we lined it up so that we could trade sets back and forth with Gene, which is a dangerous thing because, as I say, in your third set you're following him, so it could really crash and burn. But it was a beautiful night, and Jay and I actually arrived by canoe, and it was snowing, so it was pretty amazing. This cut across from basically Shawnigan Lake School to the galley. We came in canoe and met Gene, and there was a bunch of bad drama going on at the restaurant, but it all, you know, paled in comparison to sharing the stage with Eugene. So it's going to be a few minutes before he sets up, but I just wanted to throw in that chestnut because apparently it's a winter nut theme. And his wonderful and talented partner Victoria is here, so I'm sharing a couple of things so that she knows something. Thank you for listening to The Love of Words. It's that's basically what it is. People sharing readings and practicing that skill of listening, really, for the audience, isn't it? We often get people who are a little bit fidgety and don't bear with it, but it's really a gem. And this guy is a little impatient.
No, I just want to say thank you very
he's
much
off
for
his
hosting
meds.
this for all along. For as long as you have, Mr. Bill Levity.
Am I overtime?
Yes.
I thought I timed it quite well. Thank you for letting these folk singers usurp my night. And gracious as I am, I'm willing to give the stage over to you now. How's that? This is my night. I just want to remind you, this is my night. Yeah, thank you.
Well, we actually share at the beginning of the night.
Which?
We do the share thing at the beginning.
Oh, you and I share pretty well. Yeah.
That's all we're doing now.
Sharing. Wait, how's it go? Sharing and caring. Can you do that one with me?
You've been hanging out with kids a lot, haven't you? Yeah.
Oh, man, those kids sing and dance. It's a beautiful thing. But anyway, thank you for 12.1 years.
But there's no way we couldn't go into this. It was just I realized as we went in, oh no, New Year's Eve is on the. Oh no! And you know what else it is?
What?
It's George's birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Georgia. Happy birthday to you. We love you very much. We couldn't do it without you.
So we're going to take a 5-10 minute break, munch a bit on some food, get all relieved and all that, so we can sit down and have the one and the only great Eugene Smith give us some entertainment to remind us of just how many decades he's been around.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to say to remind us how beautiful life could be, which I think might have been a little sharper, but never mind.
All right, that age thing.
Right, the age thing. We don't want to go there, really.
Not yet, do we?
No.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Everybody. Thanks for listening.
Big hand for Bill Levity for doing all this. Thank you very much, Bill.
We think too.
Got a place up in Turner Station. Make that preacher lay his Bible down. Got a place up in Turner Station.
Okay.
Oh, you'll hear about it. Hey, here it is, the final day of the decade. How'd that ever happen? The decade that no one's got a name for, which is after the decade that didn't have a name for it either way. But now we're going into the 20s, and possibly the roaring 20s. I'm not sure what kind of 20s they are, but they're definitely getting off to a start.
Yes,
But one of the things along the way for me is been in the business that I'm in, if it is a business, is I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of great performers, and this is one of the ones that I was able to entice to come to the city of Duncan to check us out, and he did, and thank goodness he stayed as long as he has.
21 years, Joe.
Wow. But in that 21 years, one of the things I got to do, which to me was a huge success for me, was having Mr. Bill Levity become really good friends with Eugene. And sometimes when they're going up north and like that, who's the driver? Who's the guy making sure you get there? Mr. Bill Levity. So before I go any further, I'd like to have Bill Levity come up and have the honor of introducing Mr. Eugene Smith.
I'm starting to blush.
I'm starting to blush. Oh, he's very tall, isn't he? Well, I've said quite a bit already, so I won't labor. Oh, go on.
Go on, go ahead.
Go ahead. It has been a wonderful and fruitful friendship with this dear man, and I will reveal to you now that we are going to the same barber. Mr. Electric Clipper Barber. Yeah, that's something, eh? I guess my friends are getting to that golden age of life. And I thought, well, I'm turning 60 this year. I better find out what's actually going on the superhighway. I was a little shocked, but
There's snow on top.
there's
though.
snow. There's a bit of snow still, luckily.
There's
Yeah.
still fire below.
There's fire below. There's fire in the poodle. Poodle power. One of the neat things we do, and Eugene's not just an amazing entertainer and songwriter and person and chef, might I add, but he invented this thing that is one of the most wonderful man evenings, and I don't say that to be sexist because I don't belong to any man groups, but this one is well, would you let me get there? Thanks for, yeah. Anyway, Gene invented this game where we play poker, various games with Canadian Tire money. And it's just the greatest thing because it still contains all the competition and the thrill and the agony of defeat, but you're not really losing bread. You're losing Canadian Tire money. And 5 guys, we get together and we kibitz and we're silly and we play poker. And for that, I thank him many times over. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderfulest Mr. Eugene Smith.
Well, I have to tell you, we usually drink beer and spirits at our poker games, but one time I decided I didn't want to drink alcohol, so I brought cookies and milk. And that didn't go over so well with the guys. They teased me and teased me and teased me about cookies and milk for months later. So after seeing Billy dressed as a French poodle, say nothing about my cookies and milk anymore. Remember when I stayed at your place on Gibbons, John? It was cold. And small. The only heat was in your room. I used to have to go to bed with my clothes on. It was fun, though. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Woman, don't you treat me so mean? You're the meanest woman I've ever seen. Yes, if you say so, have to pack my bags and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more. Help me now, people. Come on. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Woman, don't treat me that way. I said, I'm gonna get back on my feet one day. You don't care if I do. It's understood. I've got no money and I'm just no good. Guess if you say so, well, I had to pack my bags and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. What'd you say? I hit the... Jack, don't come back. Hey, boom, 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 day. Hit the road. Oh, woman, don't you treat me so mean. You're the meanest woman I've ever seen. Guess if you say so, well, I'll have to pack my bags and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. You got it. Don't you come back no more. Don't you come back. Don't you come back no more. Oh, I'll be good. Oh, please give me a chance. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm out of here. Oh. Oh, thank you. This is a tune that I wrote called Walking a Fine Line. Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep you down. Mother Earth said I'll take care of this. Father Time said I'm behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way. Well, we're living from day to day now. All I want you to do for me, all I want you to do for yourself. Take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line, yeah, come on. Thin line, walk a thin line. Boom, bum, ba-dum, boom, ba-do-do-do-do, boom, bum, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do, bum, bum, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do-do-do, bum, bum, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do. Well, you know you'll find a way to make that a better day now. I know all you can. Oh, we gotta trust fellow man. Gotta try, try, try. We do. Try, try, try. Me and you. All right. All I want you to do for me, all I want you to do for yourselves. Take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line, yeah. Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep it down. Mother Earth said I'll take care of this. Father Time said I'm behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way. Well, we're living from day to day. All I want you to do for me, all I want you to do for yourselves. Take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds. Oh, as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah. Boom, bam, 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 ba-do-do-do-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do. Bum, bam, 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 ba-do-do-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-dum, bam, ba-do-do-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-dum, bam, ba-do-do-do-do. Bum, bam, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do. Whoa! Woo! Thank you. So this 2020's coming in, so I'm hoping the world will see things much better next year for 2020. Everybody should take a different look on life or whatever. See how the world really is. I'm gonna do, this is one of Billy's favorite songs. He always wants me to do this too whenever he comes to see me play. So are you here, Bill, still? Yeah. It's called A Piece of Wood. And I wrote this tune when I was living in Port Moody in the 70s. The woods started growing into my bedroom window, branches from the tree outside, so I decided to write a song that was a piece of wood. When I was just a youngster, the Pied Piper was one of my heroes. Oh, yeah. Elders scorned him, but children adored him. He was real folk. Well, he flew along, yeah, on his flute all day long. When the rodents hit the town, he just smiled, said no problem, no. He was just the man doing what he could. Drove them rats to the sea with just a piece of wood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Now somewhere along the line, I heard me a woman named Joan of Arc. Well, they condemned her to death. They said she was a witch, a demon of the dark. She led her armies in a battle because of her visions they won. Yeah. Well, her life was ended just as quickly as it had begun. She was just a woman doing what she could. A saint was born with a flame and a piece of wood. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. All right. All right. Whoa, come on now. When I was just a youngster, the Pied Piper was one of my heroes. The elders scorned him, but children adored him. He was real folk. Well, he flew along, yeah, well, his flute all day long. When the rodents hit the town, he just smiled, said no problem. Oh, no. He was just a man doing what he could. Drove them rats to the sea with just a piece of wood. Yes, he did. Ah, he did. Ah, she did. And he did. They both did. Whoa. Thank you. Oh, there's gold in them there hills. Okay, what do you want to hear now? Yeah, right. This next song I'm going to sing for you is called Johnny Bailey. Wrote this for all the street kids out there. Yes, I did. He's been out there on the streets since the age of 10, taking chances to stay alive, eating out of a can. The cold winds howl at night, he sleeps curled up in a ball. In the land of plenty next morning, he'll be down at the mall. Do you have a nickel? Do you have a dime? Maybe you like to sit, spend a little time, talk to Johnny Bailey, John Bailey, Johnny Bailey, little John Bailey. You got your dreams, he's got his too. All he wants me to love like me and you. Talk to Bailey, John Bailey, talk to Bailey, little Johnny Bailey. Yeah. coming from a family that was shattered and torn. His papa was a real mean drunk. His mama wished she'd never been born. The judge said the best thing for John, put him up in a boy's home. Never thinking he would run away to make it on his own. No, no. Do you have a nickel? Do you have a dime? Maybe you'd like to sit, spend a little time. Talk to Johnny Bailey, John Bailey. Johnny Bailey, little Johnny Bailey. You got your dreams, he's got his too. All he won't be love like me and you. Talk to Bailey, Johnny Bailey. Talk to Bailey, little John Bailey. Oh, 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 yeah. Ah, yeah. He met this girl 3 years older than him. One day she up and died. The word had it on the streets, it was suicide. Well, this life is rough on young souls, but he swore he'd never give in. He cried a tear, wiped his eyes, then he put out his hand. Oh, now, do you have a nickel? Do you have a dime? Maybe you'd like to sit, spend a little time. Talk to Johnny Bailey, little John Bailey. Johnny Bailey, John Bailey. You got your dreams, he's got his too. Well, he won't be loved like me and you. Ah, yeah. Whoa! Woo! Thank you. So I'm ending off this year tonight. I'm ending it off. I'm not selling any CDs whatsoever. None whatsoever. That's it. What? You do? You do? You got me peeping, you got me hiding, you got me peep hide, anywhere you want me to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to do. I'm going in, I'm going out. I'm going in, out, in, out, in, out. Anywhere you want me to go. Yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to do. I'm going up, I'm going down. I'm going up, down, up, down. Anywhere you want me to go. Whoa, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to do. Oh, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. baby, what you want me to do? I'm going in, I'm going out, I'm going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, any way you want me to go. Yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to do? You got me peeping, got me hiding, got me peep, hide, anywhere you want me to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to, doing what you want me. Baby, what you want me to, doing what you want me. Baby, what you want me, oh, want me. Peeping and a hiding, slipping and sliding, going up and down, round and round. You got me peeping and hiding, slipping and sliding, going up and down, in and out, around, round and about, peeping and hiding. You got me doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to, doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to, doing what you want, man. Baby, what you want me to do. Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay, this is a song that I like doing. You may have heard it many times before because I've played it many times before. This is a song about a couple that are renewing their marriage vows, their love vows. Here we go. Well, it seemed like only yesterday, or when we first met. Oh, how the time do fly. You're just as pretty now, oh, as you were then. You still have that sparkle in your eyes. Well, I know a special place where we can celebrate. Yeah, them lasting years. We'll sit by wine by candlelight, oh, as the minstrel plays, oh, our love song. Well, our love song. Well, our love song. Well, our love song. All right. It was 30 years ago today when you first heard me say, would you like to elope to Greece and marry me? we can do it all over again. That's the kind of guy I am. The love we share, oh darling's running deep. Well, I know a special place where we can celebrate them passing years. We'll sip our wine by candlelight, oh, as the minstrel plays. Well, our love song. Well, our love song. Well, our love song. Yeah. Well, our love song. Right. Oh! Thank you. Okay. Okay, we're just getting into it now, boy, I'll tell you. So, I'll play some tunes on my kalimba for you now. See what happens there. Ooh, Tim, you're good. So there are 3 stages to human life. The first stage is you're a baby into an adolescent, then you go from an adolescent into an adult, and the last stage is, geez, you look good. This is my kalimba. I'll play some songs for you that I've written. I've been writing quite a few tunes with this instrument lately, so let's see how. And some tunes I don't write. Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, bum, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-da, yeah. Diddle-doo-da, bum, bum, ba-da, bum, ba-doo-doo-doo. Well, he rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping, bopping, singing his song. All the little birds on the daybird street love to hear the rum go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, rockin' Robin. Well, go rock, I'm good, really gonna rock tonight. Well, every little swallow, every chickadee, every little bird in the tumble tree, the wise old owl, the big black crow, flapping their wings, sing, go bird, go, rockin' Robin. All right, rockin' Robin. Now go rockin', I'm good, really gonna rock tonight. All right. With the pretty little robin at the bird bandstand, time out to do the bop, that was grand. Start going steady, bless my soul. He helped bop the buzzard and the Oreo. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and bopping and singing his song. All the little birds on the daybird street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, all right. Rockin' Robin, oh, come on. Now go rock, I'm good, really gonna rock tonight. Oh yeah. bud. Bamba doo doo doo, rockin' robin. Bamba doo 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 doo. Pretty little robin at the bird dance stand. Tired about to do the bob that was grand. Start going steady, bless my soul. He'll bop, 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 the buzzard and the Oreo. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and bopping and singing this song. All the little birds on the daybird street love to hear the rum go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, all right. Rockin' Robin, oh, come on. Now go rockin' Robin, 'cause you really gonna rock. Go rockin' Robin, 'cause you really gonna rock. Go rockin' Robin, 'cause we gonna rock tonight, yeah. Up diddly dee dee, diddly dee dee, bump diddly diddly dee dee, bump diddly bump bump bump, Rockin' Robin. Oh, you wanted to get up and dance to that one, didn't you? Tweet, tweet. Here's a tune by Jimmy Cliff here. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo. Well, I know it won't be long. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo, like a bird without a song. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know, oh, I know my faith will lead me on. Yeah, lead me on. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo, waiting for the dice to roll. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo, got some time to search my soul. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know, oh, I know my feet will lead me on. Oh, yeah, lead me on. I can't say where life will lead me when I know where I've been. I can't say what life will show me when I know what I've seen. Try my hand at love and friendship. Oh, that's all fast and gone. A little boy is moving on. I'm moving on while I'm sitting here in limbo. Oh, got some time to call my own. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo, waiting for the tide to flow. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know, oh, I know my faith will lead me on. Yeah, it's gonna lead me on. Oh, yeah. I can't say where life will lead me when I know where I've been. I can't say what life will show me when I know what I've seen. Tried my hand at love and friendship. Well, that's all fast and gone. A little boy is moving on. I'm moving on where I'm sitting here in limbo, waiting for the tide to flow. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sitting here in limbo, got some time to call my own. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Well, they're putting up resistance, but I know, oh, I know my faith will lead sitting in limbo. Whoa, sitting in limbo, 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 limbo. Ha ha. Sitting in limbo, 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 limbo. Ah ha. Sitting in limbo, oh hey. Sitting in limbo, sitting in limbo, sitting in limbo, sitting in limbo, sitting in limbo. Thank you. Okay. You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and I can hardly speak. My heart is beating so anyone can tell. You think you know me well. Well, you don't know me. Now you don't know the one who dreams of you at night and longs to kiss your lips, longs to hold you tight. Oh, I'm just a friend. That's all I've ever been. Well, you don't know me. Well, I never knew the art of making love, though my heart aches so out for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by. A chance that you might love me too. Oh, now you gave your hand to me, and then you say goodbye. I watch you walk away, oh, now with that lucky guy. Oh, you never know the one who loves you so, no. Well, you don't know me, no. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-doo. Ba-da-da-doo. Ba-da-da-doo, da-doo-da, da-doo-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da 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 da. Well, I never knew the art of making love, though my heart aches so out for you. Oh, afraid and shy, let my chance go by. A chance that you might love me too. Oh, now you gave your enemy, and then you say goodbye. I watch you walk away with that lucky guy. Well, you never know the one who loves you so, no. Well, you don't know me, no. I say you don't know me, oh no. Oh, no, you don't know me. Well, you don't know me. Oh, no, you don't know me. Whoa, thank you. And another tune that, or this tune I wrote for, I think, played the last time I was here, was the, we're going down to Nanaimo on a Sunday afternoon to dance. Has anybody else been there besides myself on a Sunday afternoon? Let's hear it, make some noise. There you go, so you know what I'm talking about. It's called Down in the Nanaimo. Sunday up in downtown Nanaimo, there's a place where people meet. Sunday up in downtown Nanaimo, there'll be days to do the beat. Oh, now, wow, whoa, wow, 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 whoa, wow, 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 Everybody there knows everybody, so they say. Friends and lovers, new acquaintances, two-stepping merrily on a night. Whoa, wow, 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 whoa, wow, 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 down the Nanaimo. Down the Nanaimo. Down the Nanaimo. All right. Now listen. I say, all the pretty ladies, they're smiling. Oh, so sweet. All the fellas can hardly wait now to dance with them cheek to cheek. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Down the Nanaimo. Down the Nanaimo. All right. Down the Nanaimo. Now, Sunday up in downtown Nanaimo, there's a place where people meet. Sunday up in downtown Nanaimo, they'll be dancing to the beat. Oh, now, now, whoa, 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 down, down in Nanaimo. Yeah, down in Nanaimo. All right, down, down, down in Nanaimo. They're having fun. Down in Nanaimo, Sunday afternoon. Down in Nanaimo, oh yeah, having fun. Yeah, 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 having fun. Down in Nanaimo. Woo! Is everybody having fun? Good, so am I. This next tune is kind of like a poem, Billy. This is kind of like a poem. It's It's called Life Gets Teachers, Don't it? Oh, I should say, the reason I do this tune is because being a Canadian, I don't have the blues. I have the blahs. So, just want you to know that. I don't have the blues, just the blahs sometimes. So, well, the sun comes up and the sun goes down. Hands on the clock, keep going round. I just got up, now it's time to lay down. Oh, life gets teachers, don't it? Well, my shoes untied, but I don't care. I wasn't planning on going nowhere. I have to wash and comb my hair. Just another waste of effort. Well, the water in the well, it's getting lower and lower. Can't take a bath, for 6 months or more. Now, I've heard it said, and it's true, I'm sure, too much bathing will weaken you. I open the screen door, and the flies swarm in. I shut the door, then I'm sweating again. And in the process, I crack my shin. Can't depend on nothing. Now the old brown mule, well, he must be sick. I poked him in the rump with a pin on the stick. Now he humped his back, but he wouldn't kick. Something's cockeyed somewhere. Mouse chawing on the pantry door. He's been at it now for a month or more. When he gets through, well, he sure will be sore because there ain't a darn thing in there. Oh, hound dog howling, oh, so forlorn. Laziest dog that was ever born. Now he's howling 'cause he's sitting on a thorn, just too tired to move over. Well, the tin roof leaks and the chimney leans. There's a hole in the seat of my old blue jeans. And I just ate the last of my pork and beans. Can't depend on nothing, huh? Well, the cow's gone dry and the hens won't lay. Fish quit biting last Saturday. Oh, trouble's piling up day by day. Now I think I'm getting dandruff. Well, grief and misery and pains and woes and debt and taxes, and so it goes. Well, I think I'm getting a cold in my nose. Life gets tasteless, don't it? Thank you. Okay, let's try. I know somebody asked me to play my jaw harp tonight, so here it is. So nurses told me it looked like an IUD. That's exactly what you thought. I ain't playing it then. I ain't playing it. Come on. I gotta go, we don't sound the lines of Jean. She could go talking loud, the lines of Jean. On the lines of Jean. On the lines of Jean. Hey, 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 look it out. Ooh, all right. There you go. Oh. Yeah, you just never know, eh? Okay, so one more time with this puppy. I need a home. Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. Breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. 'Cause a big convicted of crime. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. There I reckon that ought to get it. I've been working and working, but I still got so terrible long to. I committed crime, Lord, and evil. Crime of being hungry and poor. Left the goods and stone men a bleeding. When he got the rob at his store. Hold it steady right there while I get it. There I reckon that's what I get it. I've been working and I'm working, but I still got so terrible long too. Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. Breaking rocks and serving, Lord, I'm serving my, mine. There you go. Thank you. Woo! Okay, I got one more for you here, and then I'm going home to take my senior's nap. This is I just finished writing this tune this month, actually, in the last month or so. This month, last month, whatever. Well, I've only played it once, I think, in front of an audience, so I hope I can remember it all tonight. But I was trying to think of a tune that, what happens with me and my writing, I used to write quite quickly, and now I've slowed down because I don't know what to write about. I get melodies, but I don't know what to sing about. And so it takes me a little bit longer to think of what I want to sing about nowadays than it used to. But anyways, finally it came to me one night. I was sleeping away and something hit me, and I thought, I jumped up and I picked up my kalimba. But this is a tune that sort of sums up my life and how I feel about all the audiences and people that I've played for over the last 60 years. Yeah, I know. So, I hope I can remember it all. So this tune's for you. It's so good to see you all again. Yeah, good to see you all again. It's good, good, yeah, good now. Stick around, stick around. Mm, it's good to see you all again. Oh, good to see you here. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Oh, it's guaranteed. We're gonna fill the room with joy. People like you and me. Oh, many blue in my heart. Here we go now, do it from the start. Many, 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 many miles of sunlight. Oh, many blue moon. I feel we all got here the best the way we could. Oh, it's great to see you smile. Oh, now stick around with me a while because we're gonna have ourselves some fun tonight. Oh, it's guaranteed. Oh, gonna fill the room with joy. People like you and me. Oh, well, time goes by so quickly, and before you know, I'm gonna say goodnight. It's time to go. Safe journey home, if you please. Wake up in the morning with the fond memory that you had yourself some fun last night. Oh, now it was guaranteed. Oh, now we fill the room with joy, with people like you and me. Oh, stick around with me. Stick around, stick around, stick around, stick around for a while. Stick around, stick around, stick around, people, for a while. Stick around now, have some fun, because we're gonna have some fun tonight. Oh, Lord, it's guaranteed. We're gonna fill the room with joy. People like you and me. Oh, oh, stick around with me. Oh, stick around, have some fun. Ah! Stick around with me. Woo, woo, stick around, have some fun. If I could reach the stars, pull one down for you, shine it on my heart so you could see the truth. This love I have inside is everything it seems, but for now I find it's only in my dreams that I could change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby, if I could change the world. If I could be king, even for a day, I'd take you as my queen. I'd have it no other way. And this love will rule. It'll be alright. I will be a fool, wishing for the day that I could change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, baby, if I could change, baby, if I could change, baby, if I could change the world.